Hi, this is Phyllis. Welcome back again to my channel. Today's project is going to be my Pilant stretch ring. This ring is made from my Pilant component in my previous video, and this component is going to blossom into many things. So if you like this ring, stay tuned for my materials list and we will get started. The materials for today's project are one of the Pilant components. This component still has the needle and thread attached from the component video that I previously recorded, and positioning point is right here out of this 3mm pearl. So that's one thing that we need. So the component, the needle and thread, and then we're going to need some size 8/0 seed beads and some size 3mm pearls, a 0.5mm stretch cord. It doesn't matter, 0.5, 0.6, whatever fits through, and your scissors. I've got my bead board. Also, for point of reference, I was using my 6-pound fire line in the crystal color, and we're only using this long enough to make the bails on both sides of the component so that we can attach a ring band. So if you like the project that you see at the beginning of the video, stay tuned and we will make it together. Gather your materials. Our starting point for our ring band is the 3mm. I have strung on a 3mm, an 8/0, and a 3mm, and I'm going to pass my needle back into this 3mm where we started, and we're going to reinforce it. Yep, reinforce it, and we're going to reinforce it today. Now, when I was trying to practice this, I did not see thread. So that means that where I'm seeing thread now, I'm not pulling my, okay, that's better. I wasn't pulling my thread tight enough. Every time you see some thread, the best way to remedy it is to reinforce. And so I'm going now back into the 3mm where I started. And I'm looking now, I don't see thread. I don't see, no, that's pretty good. All right, so what I'm gonna do is gonna work my way around to the other side. I'm gonna follow the thread path, making sure not to miss any of the beads, otherwise that defeats the purpose of following the thread path, because you'll have a thread on the outside of your beads, and that's not what you want. We want to follow the thread path and get over there to the other pearl or 3mm so that we can add the other side of our bail. And I promise to get there today. All right, follow our thread path and we are exiting the 3mm. We're going to do the same thing, string on a 3mm, an 8/0, and a 3mm. Pass our needle back into the 3mm. And I'm going to reinforce this like I did the other side, and I'm going to end this thread. What do I mean by end the thread? I'm going to trim the thread off by passing through a few beads of the perimeter of the Pilant component and make some half-hitch knots and trim it off. Okay, I'll do the first knot with you. So after reinforcing, I'll go through a few of these 11-0 seed beads, making sure that I didn't skip any, because we don't want to see thread. Pull it tight, rearrange your beads, making sure that they remain on the outside of the paisley duos, and I don't want you to be blurred here. So what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to pass my needle right there up under that thread bridge, and I'm going to pull up a loop, and I'm going to make the loop manageable. So if you can see it here, make it manageable. I'm going to pass my needle into that loop twice, and making sure that I'm at the thread bridge where I started. I'm going to just tighten down right there on my knot, pull it tight as I can, and pass through a few more beads. And when you do that, making sure that you don't see that knot, I'm going to do that again and pass under the thread bridge, pull up a loop, pass into that loop twice, making sure that my thread is at the original thread bridge, tighten down, pull it tight, and pass through. And I'm going to make a couple more knots on this side here, but you don't have to watch me do it. But if I wanted to, as a matter of fact, I can just go ahead, because I passed my needle through a few more beads. I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the thread, and then we'll do the next part. I'm going to pull my thread as tightly as I can and nip it right off there. Okay, now we are done with needle and thread, and I'm going to now put away my 3mm, because the only thing we're going to be working with next are our 8/0 seed beads. I pulled off about a 16-inch piece of my stretch cord here, and I conditioned it by stretching it out. You have to stretch it out to make sure you get the best quality from your stretch wire. Once you stretch it out, you can really tug on it and do what you need to do to make it work for you. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass one side of this stretch cord into one of my 8/0 seed beads, and I'm going to pull it up, and even up my ends. Okay, once my ends are even, this is going to be like a 2-needle project. I'm going to string on 1 8/0 on each side, on each end. And if you have to use a big eye needle or something, you could do that too. Let them drop down to the original 8/0 seed bead. I'm going to string on one more of my 8/0s, and I'm going to hold it here like this. So this original end is going from right to left. I'm going to cross this left one, left to right, into that 8/0 seed bead and even up my ends. Today, you know, I just have to make fun of myself when I'm fumbling around. Fumbling. All right, just pull it down like that, and this is what you should have: a right angle weave box. Continue to make your right angle weave boxes the same way by adding an 8/0 to each end, and this is a little, because this is a 0.5 millimeter stretch cord. It's just a little, it's dainty. sturdy, but it's dainty. So string on 1 8/0 on one end and another 8/0 on the other end, and then I'm going to string one on either end. So since I'm holding the left side, I'm going to string on this left one and pass the other end into it, and pull the thread. And that's what you're going to do until you get almost to the length of the wire of the ring band that you need. And then I'm going to show you how to finish this off. So I'll be right back. I have strung the length of the ring band that I want, and I have 9 of my right angle weave boxes here, and I've taken the liberty of stringing on 1 8/0 on each end of the stretch wire. And how I'm going to finish this off is I'm going to pass my my stretch cord into the 8/0 seed bead that's on the other side. So I'm going to pass the one in my right hand from right to left, and I'm going to pass, and I'm not going to pass that one yet. What I'm going to do is I'm pulling these together, and I'm going to tie the knot right there. So I'm going to do overhand by pulling crossing my right stretch cord over the left one, and I'm going to pull the right one into this loop twice. And when I do that, I'm going to pull tight, and the ring band comes together. See there? And I'm going to do the same thing again. This time, take my left cord over my right, pass the left cord into the loop that I made twice, and pull down tight, very tight. If the stretch wire breaks, that means that it broke. And if you're going to sell this or give it away, you want it to break on you. You don't want it to break on the person who's wearing it. So you can reinforce this ring band with your remaining stretch wire, and I may do that, but at this point the ring is done. Slide it on. Look what we have. Isn't that cute? My Pilant ring. So at this point, I'd like to thank you for hanging out with me. And if you like this project, I'd like to see you make it, and I'd like to see you show it to me on Facebook. Thanks. See you next time.